whatever computer you're on, you need to find the Final Cut Pro icon. It's the film slate looking thing. It's got like a rainbow color to it. So if you haven't found it or you're having trouble finding it, let me know. So go ahead and click on that. When you do, you should see the icon bounce up and down for a moment, and then the program will load. Make sure so your screen should be blank when it pops up. If not, then the person before you may not have closed out their program. Here, let me do this for you. So, the reason why mine looks like this is because I've got a lot of libraries on this one. So, when you have this screen, first thing I'm gonna teach you is how to set up your files. So, the hardest thing, I don't know how to edit on, probably a dozen different editing programs. And the hardest thing for me with learning Final Cut Pro 10 was just how to find my files, because in most, say PC-based things, you file and you say store and you store it to documents or whatever, and it's there. It's that easy. You kind of understand it. With Final Cut Pro 10, that's kind of a different language to the filing system. So the way it's set up is libraries, and no one gets this example, but I'm going to use it anyway. How many of you know what filmography or discography is? All right, how many of you have ever looked up, say, an actor on IMDb, and it shows all the movies that they've ever been in? Okay, that's known as a filmography. So it shows you all the projects that they've ever done. Your library is the equivalent of that. So if you did a commercial, a documentary, a movie, a how-to video, all of that goes into your library. So that's what that is, okay? Your events are your individual projects. So that one commercial that you did, that'd be considered an event. So if you got, Will Smith, all his movies, say the movie Ali, that would be the equivalent of an event. One particular project from his whole entire library. With me so far? Okay. Now, your project is just another name for your timeline. In every other editing program, they call it a timeline or your sequence, but in Final Cut Pro 10, they call it your project. So if you had, and certain events may have different multiple timelines to it, so think of it as maybe, going with the movie analogy, maybe like a certain scene in a particular movie. So that's the breakdown on that. All right. So what I want all of you to do is I want you to make your own library. And let's see if I can come around here, experimenting with this cord. Yeah. I can do it this way also. So what I want you to do is go up to File and go to New, and then go to Library, and go ahead and click that. So you should have a screen that looks something like this. Two things I want you to pay attention to is that I want you to, the Save As column, I want you to name it something, some version of your name, whether it's first name, last name, or first initial, last name, or first name, last initial, or maybe just your initials or an abbreviation of your name. The reason why I'm saying that is because if I do have to go into the computers to say, okay, maybe you can't make the class, but your work is already here, you just haven't put it on a disk and, not a disk, flash drive and given it to me, then I can find your work. So also, it'll be, I have, students that, some of my students have the same first name. So yeah, you can't just say your first name, or nickname. So anyway, that way it's easy for you to find your stuff. Did I see a hand flash? Yes, sir. Oh, yes. New and library. There you go. So the other thing I want you to pay attention to, and sorry if I'm going a little fast, I've kind of been here before. So also make sure, that it says movies right here. The reason why I care that it says movies is because it's easier to find if you need to find your raw files or your project files for some reason. This is where it also makes copies of the footage that you put in there. If you just need that individual clip, but I don't know, maybe you don't have it in your project anymore, you need to kind of like map the drive in order to get that stuff. So if you put it in movies, that's the easiest place to be able to find it. It'd be like you make a letter in Microsoft Word, but you decide to save it in an audio, your music folder. It's like, no, save it in your documents. So, all right. So I'm gonna make another one. I'm gonna call this I'll call this one Tramiel 3. And I'm just gonna press save. And you see my area got a little cleaner, but yeah, the reason why I need to close some of this other stuff. Let's see, file. Close library. Well, anyway. So once I do make that, there's a couple things that you're gonna see. You see this little like Foursquare looking thing that says Tramiel 3? That's the icon for my library. So this right here is the icon for an event. It automatically makes one for you, but I'm going to show you how to manually make it because you won't be making libraries, all the time. You'll probably just do it maybe once or twice, on whatever computer that you're using. But you'll have a lot of projects that you do in this class. So to make an event myself, make sure you're clicked in the right library, because if I make it here, it's going to try and add it here. So I'm going to click on mine says Tramiel 3, yours says whatever it says. So I'm going to go up to File again, and part of my screen gets cut off. I'm sorry you can't see it. I thought maybe if I didn't maximize my Final Cut, you'd be able to see it, but for some reason that's not the case. So I'm going to go to File, I'm going to go to New, and I'm going to go to Event. So one thing you want to pay attention to is on the library, you want to make sure it's mapped to your library. So if you see somebody else's name, then you can click on this little box right here and click the correct one. So event name, I'll just call this Friday lesson 1. I don't know. You can call it whatever you want. You don't have to name it. So. And then once I do that, you're gonna see it's right here. So this is my event. So if I'm gonna do for the lesson today, I'll be using that. And finally, are you guys with me? Okay. And finally, last thing is I want a brand new sequence. Okay. So or timeline. So I'm gonna go up to File again. Yeah, I don't know why it just doesn't show that on here. Go to new and then go to project. And don't worry about all the time code, video, rendering, whatever. All that's fine. I think I'll call this one Friday Lesson 1 also. You can call it whatever you want. If you want to change the name later, you can. So this is going to create my sequence. So when I press OK, you're going to notice this goes blank. That's because this is a new timeline, and I don't have any clips in here, so no clips are going to show up in my preview window. So before I move on to the getting footage into the computer portion, is everybody with me so far? Okay, cool. So before I move on to that, I'm going to give you a really fast tour of the whole screen here. So this is kind of like your file management system or whatever. So this has your libraries. Let me clean mine up a little bit. So this has all of my libraries here, and if I want to get rid of them, I can, because sometimes you're like, other people use this computer, I don't want everybody to see my stuff. You can do that. I'll show you that at the end. So so this is where I have my libraries, my events, timelines, all that kind of stuff. This right here is where every time I bring a little clip into my project, it'll show up here, okay? And this right here is the icon for a timeline or a sequence. The way that it looks different is because it has like these little zigzag black and white lines there, all right? This is my preview and my program window. What that means is if I'm looking at a clip here, and I just, I may want to see the clip before I actually drag it down to my timeline, then I can play it here and I'll see it here. This here is my inspector window. Most of the editing, like effects that you may do, if you're changing the color, if you're slowing down the speed, if you're, I don't know, maybe stretching the video to make it bigger or smaller, most of that is going to happen within the inspector window. This right here is for my audio bars, so it just lets me know how loud my audio is. And this is the timeline. So those are kind of like the main things that you need to know, and we'll go into a lot more detail in these later down the road. So now that we have this beautiful blank canvas here that's named after us and has sequences named after what we want to name them, now let's get some footage in here. So there's two ways that we can do it. One is with the shortcut, and one is going through the file, blah, 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 blah. I like shortcuts. So I'm going to press the command key. It looks like a little, I don't know, like a butterfly thing. It's to the left. There's a command key to the left and a command key to the right of the space bar. So you press and hold on that, and then you press the letter I, and you'll have your import window pop up. So was everybody able to do that? Okay. I'm going to do the other way. You don't have to follow along with this. Another way that I can do it is I can just go to File, and I can go to Import, and I can go to Media, and it's the exact same thing. So on every one of your computers, I have a folder on the desktop called Computer Editing Fall 2021. The reason why I'm telling you that is because the clips that you're going to be using for this lesson is in that. So let me show you how to get there. First things first, you got to have it mapped to your desktop. So if this doesn't say desktop, you just click on it, and whatever it says, just find the one that says desktop and click on that. So everybody got that? Oh, nope. Okay. Macintosh, yeah. Let me Macintosh, and then should be under users. Okay, desktop. Okay, there we go. So once we have that, we're gonna scroll down, and mine's a little bit different. Mine still says 2019, but yours is gonna say Computer Editing Fall 2021. So we'll find that little blue folder, and once you do, go further, into that. So if it's like this, then just click on it so the little arrow thing goes down and you can see more options. Then what I want you to find is where it says Computer Editing Sample Clips. So Everybody find that? Okay. So once you find computer editing sample clips, I want you to take the intersection clip and the one above it that's 2020. I don't know what's that, 8595. I don't know. And the way you can get multiple clips at the same time, you can hold down the command key. So if you clicked on one, then you just click on another, and you can get both of them into your project. Now, before you go ahead and press import selected, something you got to pay attention to is you got to make sure it goes to the, yes. Okay. Here, go ahead and click on that. All right, there we go. So let's get this one and that one. All right, now, before you go ahead and bring them in, you got to pay attention because it may try to send it to the wrong event. Like on this one, it's trying to send it to the one that has today's date. So I don't want that. So someone else can come into the lab and make something the same date, and you might send it to their project anyway. So I'm looking. Mine was called Friday Lesson, so that's the one that I want. So. But yeah, just you want to make sure that it goes to the right one, or else you have it, but then it goes to another project, and it might not even be your project. So yeah, you want to be careful about that. So once you are certain about that, then you go ahead and click Import Selected. And once you do, you'll have these little icons, in your little project bin window thing. So, is everybody able to successfully get their clips into the program? Okay, you got 2 clips? Okay. All right, so now, where are we? List view or thumbnail view. I forgot, they call it something a little different, but if you want to look, I prefer the thumbnail or film strip view or whatever they call it, where you can actually see it. But if you prefer another view, you can just press this button right here, and it's called, I keep forgetting the name of it, film strip or list mode. So this has just more details, like maybe how long the clip is, or maybe what resolution it is, or maybe if it's just audio or just video. So if you want that, or if yours is automatically on that and you want to change it, just press this little button right here, and you can change it to that. So let's get some of this footage onto the timeline. So there's 2 ways that you can do it. One is you can just drag and drop. So you can just move your cursor over a clip, you click, hold, and just drag it down. Okay? So that's that's the easy way. Now, everyone with me? Okay. So now let's go over the endpoints and outpoints. Now let's just say that this clip, I don't know, is 20 minutes long. And I don't need 20 minutes of that clip. I only need maybe, 2 minutes of it. So there's a way I can look at it, like I can play it here and see it in my preview window. And I may decide, you know what, I don't want all this, I just need these particular points. So what I can do is I can use endpoints and outpoints. So an endpoint marks where you want the footage that you want to go into your sequence, where it begins. Okay, so I'm just going to press I on my keyboard, and pay attention to this yellow rectangle. The size is going to adjust when I press it. Everyone see that? Okay. So let's just say I want it to stop, I don't know, about right there, when he's about to, while he's moving his hands. So I can press O on my keyboard, and it'll create an out point. Did you see how the rectangle changed again? Okay. And don't worry, like if you're doing this and you mess up, you can just press Command Z. Dang it. Anyway, you can press, okay, Command, let me bring that back. All right. Well, if you mess up, you can just go to the border of the yellow rectangle, just click and hold, and you can adjust your endpoints and outpoints in case if it's not perfect. So once we have it there, we kind of do a similar thing where we can just drag and drop. Now there's other ways to insert footage into the timeline, but they can get a little more complicated, but this is like the basic stuff. So this was the clip, just dragging it down, and this was with the in and out points. You can see the the difference in the the size of the clips. Let's see. Oh, adjusting clip length. So I'm gonna delete one of these because I don't need it. You know what? Matter of fact, I'm gonna drag and drop this other clip just to have something different on the screen. And something I'm gonna do is I'm gonna expand my timeline. It doesn't mean that I made the clip any longer. It just means that it takes up more of the timeline. I'm gonna do that so hopefully you can see better. But if you want to know how to do that, you can hold down the command button and press plus, and it can make it, or you can press minus to make it even smaller. So I'm just doing that it'll help illustrate the point that I'm trying to make in just a moment. So that's why I'm doing this. So where was I? Oh, so let's go over trimming. Now the way that you trim a clip is basically just going to the end of the clip, and with your select tool, the select tool is a little arrow thing that we've been using, or the cursor, but you can transform the cursor. I'll get to that in just a second. But go to the end of the clip. You'll notice that the little two little arrows pointing in opposite directions will appear. So you just click, hold, and by me dragging it towards the left, that is me shortening that clip. And the numbers that you see are actually significant. So this shows me how long the clip is now, and this shows me how much I've taken away from that clip. So that's the significance of that. And you can't do that at the beginning of the clip. It looks kind of weird how it readjusts, but I can just do this, and I can shorten the clip as well. Now you're wondering, oh, did you mess something up? No, you can just resize it, and it pops up to how it was before. So that's one way of doing it. Now let's say, okay, I need to cut something that's in the middle, okay? Well, that's what our razor blade tool is for. So the way that you can do that, you can also insert edits, but the way that you use your razor blade tool, one, you gotta find it. So there's two ways you can access it. On this little location right here with the big little arrow thing, you can click on that, and you can go down to where it says blade, and that is for the razor blade tool. So you click that, and you got this razor blade looking thing. Now there's a reason why my razor blade, oh, is everybody with me? Okay. There's a reason why my razor blade looks red over here and black over here. The reason for that is because over here I can't cut anything. There's no video, there's no audio, there's no, there's nothing for me to cut. But when I come over here, then it turns black because I can actually make some cuts to something. So, and the way you make a cut, all you gotta do is just click, and it makes a cut, and I'll make another edit here. And let's just say, okay, great, I'm ready to move some stuff around, and I start tapping again. Oh, I didn't deactivate my razor blade tool, so I made a couple cuts that I didn't mean to make. I'm gonna press Command Z to take away some of those. And I'll take away one more. Okay. And I'll take away one more. So now say if I want to get rid of this specifically, I need to go back to my select tool. The way I can go back to my select tool is by going there and pressing the select button. Now let me teach you some shortcuts for this, because you don't have to do that every time. If you want your razor blade tool, you just press the letter B, and it'll turn to your razor blade tool. If you want your select tool, just press the letter A, and it'll turn to your select tool. So that's the way I do it. So if I wanted to delete that specific thing, then I've got it selected, and I can go ahead and delete it if I want to do it like that. So I'm going to bring it back now. So next up, snapping tool. So this thing right here is known as your snapping tool. Now the significance of that is when clips get sometimes, well, with nonlinear editing, you're working with multiple layers of video, and sometimes you may want an effect to start at a certain time, or sometimes you may want a video to cover another video at a very precise moment. And with your snapping tool, it helps kind of like snap those edges together so you don't accidentally mess up. So let's just say I have this clip here, and I'm going to just go ahead and drag it down. And what I want is I want this clip to start at the very, let me take off my snapping tool first. I want this clip to start at the very end. Dang it. I want my clip to start at the very end of this clip, okay? But if I don't have my snapping tool, I can mess it up. Now, it does still try to help you. Well, let me deactivate. This is wrong. I don't need that. Oh, wait. Where's my snapping tool? It's coming off. Sorry. Okay. So if I don't have my snapping tool, I could accidentally, it looks like it might be lined up perfectly, but when I blow this up, you see I've kind of, I've overridden part of this video. In nonlinear editing, whatever is highest, that's what takes priority. So when I did this could have been the end of somebody's words, okay? They could have been at the, finishing up a sentence, and because I, brought this in too early, then, I kind of overridden that. Now, and I told you wrong, this is the snapping tool. So when I activate my snapping tool, what it does is it helps me line that up, and when it gets close, it kind of just magnetizes it to the end. So I know that it is perfect. There won't be any little flashes of black between this clip and the next clip because they're perfectly lined up. Now, if I didn't have my snapping tool, then I could say, I don't know, maybe make a mistake and accidentally have this one a little too far out, and then you'll see a little flash of black before it goes to that next video. So that's because I messed up. So that's one of the significance of the snapping tool, or snapping tool. And I'd say have that on all the time. It's usually not gonna hurt you. So yeah. What was I? Snapping tool. Oh, transitions. So I'm gonna, for the sake of this, I'm gonna slide this down here, and this right here, this little everything looks like a different kind of butterfly to me, but this I don't know, butterfly yo-yo looking thing, sideways hourglass, whatever you want to call it. This is your transitions browser. So this just allows you to if you want a different transition from one clip to the other, you can use it. Yeah, I'm just showing you. And if you want to use it, you just click, hold, and just drag that. But that's not something I'm requiring of you guys. So it's just, it's just showing you around. Your inspector window. Oh, I already kind of showed you where that was. So, yeah, if I need to maybe adjust something like the scale of the video, I can do stuff like this and a lot more, but that's for a different lesson. Titles. Your titles window is up here at the upper left. So what this does, if you want to make some text, like some lower thirds or some credits or whatever, you press that button, and then you got a lot of different stuff that you can add to your video if you choose to do so. So, but that's for a later time. Let's see. Okay, so now we've got all this beautiful video footage stuff, and I don't know, the project is done, and I need to turn this thing in or put it online or whatever. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to trim my clip to about 5 seconds. Hold on. And I'm going to export it. Now, in Final Cut, they don't call it exporting. In Final Cut Pro 10, they call it sharing. So the way you share your video, and you guys can should follow along with this, because this is like, this part is basically your homework, but you're going to do it again on your own. So to share, make sure you click somewhere in here. You go up to File. Sorry, mine doesn't show, but go to File, and then go to Share, and then go to Master File. The reason why I say Master File is because that gives you the most flexibility for your video. So it doesn't limit you to, say, 720, or if you need to scale it down, you can, but scaling stuff up is a little bit harder. So is yours showing file? Okay, yeah, I don't know why, but this one shows, this particular computer shows it a little bit different. So you didn't do anything wrong. It's just, I don't know, for some reason with the update, it didn't, I don't know, it still has old vernacular.
Okay.
Alright, you go to the File, yep, Share, and then, yours says Export File instead of Master File. Okay, Export File. So, that is weird. You do an update and some of the words are different. So, yeah, so if it says Export File or Master File, that's, yeah. And something I want you to be careful of is because a lot of mistakes, well, a mistake that a lot of students make is where it says Export XML. That's not what you want, okay? So you do want the, the share, or in your case, what did it say?
Export file.
Or the export file. So Export XML is like exporting the recipe of what you of all your editing. So it's not actually exporting, the cake, the pie, or whatever that you made. Basically, it's just the recipe. It's just the program file of it. So where an edit's supposed to go and all that other stuff. So, all right. So File, Share, Master File. You with me? Okay. So, and because I named my project Friday Lesson 1, that's what it's going to export. The export name is going to be of the file. But if I don't want that, I can just click on it, highlight it, and I can call it something else. I'm good with what I got, but you may want to change. If you want to change yours, that's fine. So next thing I'm going to look at, let me show you something. Right here, where it says 14.3 megabytes, that lets me know how big my file is. The reason why that is significant is if you know that on your flash drive you only have 10 megabytes for some reason, if you only got 10 megabytes, then hey, I got to delete something before I can, export this file into my flash drive. So it can be helpful for that. So go to, I'm going to settings to double check some stuff. So where it says format, make sure it says audio and video, because if it's not there, then you may, think you're exporting video and all you're getting is, I don't know, audio, or maybe you're getting video without audio. So just double check that, and you can just, select the one that you want. Also, for the video codec, we want H.264. That's a fancy way of saying MP4. So that's basically the best video format these days. What else? Everything else, you can just leave it alone. So when I click next, now it's going to ask me where I want to send it. So you may want to send, and this is your choice. If you want to send it to the desktop, you can send it there. If you have a flash drive plugged in, it'll show up. It'll show up usually somewhere around here, and you can send it straight to your flash drive if you want to. So I'm just going to send mine to the desktop, and when I press save, it's gonna, don't get freaked out, but like most of your stuff is gonna kind of like go away, and it's gonna make you think like you closed something accidentally, but you didn't. Yeah, that's just part of the process. And up here, you'll see like a time thing that kind of fills in to let you know that it's processing, and it shows up in another place on the screen around midways. But yeah, so I'm gonna go ahead and click save. And it disappeared like, I think I closed it, but if you look up there, it was there for like a split second. But this is the video that I exported, and yay, it works. And to show that it went to my desktop, I'm gonna press Command and H, because that's how you can like make stuff hide. And Friday lesson 1, here it is. So this was the video that I had just exported. So I'm not gonna keep it. Yeah, and that's it. Now let me talk about your homework. Your homework is very similar to what we just did. If you were following along, the only difference that I want for your homework is there's a reason why I had you guys. I had my video 5 seconds, but I want yours to be 10 seconds. So that means in order to get 10 seconds, you're gonna have to trim the video down to 10 seconds, or I don't know, maybe take a whole bunch of clips until it gets to 10 seconds. But I want 10 seconds of video, not 9 seconds, not 11, but somewhere within 10. Okay? If it's 10 and a half, that's fine. Okay? Save it to your flash drive, or at the very least, make sure you save it to your computer, because you can bring the flash drive next time we meet, put it on the flash drive then, and then give it to me. So, yeah. For the name of your assignment, put your name, first name or last name, or some version of your name, and just say export assignment. That way I know which homework assignment it is, because sometimes a student may turn in 2 projects at the same time, and maybe one of them is really wrong, and I'm like, what is this supposed to be? And I say, oh, export assignment. I guess I'll put on some slack. So this is not due until today's Friday. So basically, whenever you come to lab, you'll have an assignment due. So this isn't due until next Friday. So yeah, that's it. Anybody got any questions so far? So yeah, who are those guys? They're here to make sure that everybody stays in line. That's their job. No, I'm just gonna say. That's my next class. This date is wrong. It'll be next Friday, which will be the 17th. So, yeah. Class dismissed. My. Oh, okay. I mean, a couple of y'all for the first time in person. Are you Gia?
No, Kendall.
Kendall. Maisha? Yeah, so you might want to stay around, right? Because, yeah, I say, stick around once my other class gets settled. Just find a computer, and if nobody sits there, then just stay there and do your work now. Because, Kendall, Maisha, Josh. Sorry about being so late. That's not normal. At least not that late. But yeah, thank you for being here, and thank you for staying. So, Monday, it'll be a lecture day. So, and all of our stuff will be in this room. So, and I'll also be posting stuff online. So, let me stop this recording.